1602 The Spaniards constructed a massive wall protecting the port town of Cavite. With this wall was a main gate which gave entry to Cavite Puerto. This gate appeared on a 1659 map labeled as Puerta Nueva que Sales a San Roque. In Chabacano dialect, it was called Puertang Bago. Later Bago, which means new, was converted to Vega to be more Hispanized, hence, it was called Porta Vaga. 1667 Tradition says a miraculous lady appeared before a Guardia Civil. She claimed to be Mary, the mother of Jesus, and sought entrance through Porta Vaga to Cavite Puerto. The next day, fishermen and workers at the Cavite Royal Arsenal found the image of the Virgin de la Soledad floating on the waters of Cañacao Bay. 1669-1689 Tomás de Andrade was the rector of the Jesuits, Colegio de Cavite. He wrote a poem entitled, Himno a la Virgen de Cavite. Later, the poem became the lyrics of the hymn, Reina de Cavite. 1692 April 12 An inscription on the back of the painting states, A 2 de Abril 1692 Anos Puso Sima Himagen Juan de Oliva Jaca. The Most Holy Image was placed here on April 12, 1692 by Juan de Oliva. This is the basis of Nuestra Señora de la Soledad's tricentennial celebration. 1700s Port of Cavite, detail from Carta Hydrográfica y Chorográfica de las Islas Filipinas 1734, listed on the map as 11. La Soledad is the Ermita de Porta Vaga. Original Spanish-era frame of Our Lady of Porta Vaga 1739 The first time that the Ermita de la Virgen de la Soledad was mentioned in the map of Cavite Puerto. 1739 The chaplain of the Ermita de la Soledad was Nicolas Melo. 1739 October 5 Marcos Zamora was appointed as administrator of the Capilla Nuestra Señora de la Soledad. He was asked to submit an inventory of the properties of the said chapel. 1742 Soledad Patrician ante Maria, Oración Evangelica de Nuestra Señora de la Soledad Apelladada de Puerta Vaga was printed. This was based in the preaching given by the Dominican preachers Fray Juan de la Cruz in the Ermita de la Soledad in 1741. 1747 December 16 Vicente Seguera was appointed as chaplain of the Ermita de Nuestra Señora de la Soledad. 1748 January 22 Vicente de Seguera asked Don Patricio de Mina, Rear Admiral of the ship, Príncipe de Asturias, to ask for alms in his trip to China and Canton for the said sanctuary, the Ermita of the Soledad. This was approved by the Archbishop of Manila. 1751 January 16 de Souza was granted permission by the Archbishop of Manila to ask for alms from passengers aboard the ship Santissimo Rosario bound for Acapulco for the greater glory of the cult and adornment of the Nuestra Señora de la Soledad. 1752 July 7 de Souza solicited alms for the image of Nuestra Señora de la Soledad aboard Nuestra Señora del Rosario y San Juan Bautista. 1755 November 21 Antonio Gil Adriano was appointed chaplain of the Ermita. 1757 November 6 a document mentioned the existence of Obras Pias de Nuestra Señora de la Soledad under the administration of Don Miguel Cortez de Arandanillo y Oriosolo, Vicar General of Manila. 1768 January 17 Joseph Aranzana was appointed chaplain of the Ermita de la Soledad. 1768 July 20 Aranzana was given permission to ask for alms for the Virgin de la Soledad aboard the frigate San Carlos. 1768 August 11 Joseph de Jesus Diaz Bardona was appointed chaplain of the Ermita. 1768 October 1 Vicente Ippolito was assigned as Mayordomo Capella of the Ermita. 1769 July 19 Vicente Ippolito was given the permission to solicit from the galleon San Carlos. 1770 March 1 Thomas Nazario Benitez was appointed chaplain of the Ermita. 1771 The sanctuary of the Ermita was painted, floors, leaks and windows were repaired. 1773 March 1 Rafael Ochoa was appointed chaplain of the Ermita. 1774 April Dionisio Vicente Esguerra de Leyva was appointed chaplain of the Ermita. 1775 Archbishop Sancho of Manila approved the rebuilding of the retablo with gold and silver leaf imported from Canton. 1775-1792 Don Mateo Joaquin Rubio de Arevalo Bishop of Cebu granted 40 days of indulgence to devotees of the Virgin de la Soledad. During this time, estampas printed on silk was a popular one. Devotees adorned the copies with gold and silver embroidery and ivory. 1776-1788 Don Basilio Sancho de Santa Justa y Rufina was Archbishop of Manila. He granted 80 days of indulgence to devotees of the Nuestra Señora de la Soledad. 1787 Inventory of the Ermita described 4 altars, much silver vessels and decoration and curtains of different colors hanging in the Ermita. 1830, June 2nd, lightning struck the altar of the ermita, fire razed the altar to ground but the image of the Virgin remained intact amidst the ashes and debris. 1832, Novenario Consagrado a la Piadosa Virgen de la Soledad llamada de Porta Vaga printed by the Real Colegio de Sto Tomas, Manila. 1848, April 22nd, Macario Goco was appointed chaplain of the ermita. 1848, the church was closed because of its ruinous state. The dome was in danger of falling down. The Archbishop allowed the immediate repair of the chapel. 1849, April 6, Clemente Custodio was appointed chaplain of the ermita. 1851, the chapel of the Nuestra Señora de la Soledad was reported to be well built. The interior is decorated with the paintings of the miracles of the Virgin. 1856, a terrible typhoon flooded Cavite Puerto. Houses and buildings in the whole puerto went underwater except for the ermita and its patio where Caviteños sought refuge and prayed to the Virgin de la Soledad. The flooding subsided thereafter. 1857, June 30th, Cavite-based Spanish frigate Lucero was caught between the shallow reefs of Raus, Legazpi, Albay amidst a violent typhoon. The crew asked for the Virgin's assistance and she appeared before them. After 22 days, the frigate floated away from the reefs and sailed safely to Cavite. 1859, December 22nd, Bernardino Tonco was appointed chaplain of the ermita. 1861, August 31st, Candido Urita Manzanares, Chancellor of the Archdiocese of Manila approved the Tagalog Novena to the Virgin. 1863, a novena in honor of the Virgin de la Soledad printed by Imprenta Ramirez y Garadier. 1863, a terrible earthquake destroyed the ermita and the image of the Virgin de la Soledad was temporarily housed in San Juan de Dios Church. 1865, another printing of the novena by the Imprenta de Sanchez Calle Anloaj Binondo. The Stabat Mater in Spanish was added together with a prayer in Latin. 1869, July 6, Timoteo Sanchez was appointed as chaplain of the ermita. 1870, August 12, Roman Pilipil was appointed as chaplain of the ermita. 1871, the convent of the ermita was repaired extensively. Some properties owned by the ermita were sold to subsidize the expenses. 1874, a running balcony was constructed in the second floor of the sacristy. Work was initiated by Juan de la. 1879, a big bell was donated to the ermita by various devotees of the Virgin de la Soledad. This bell was recast in 1890. The bell exists to this day and hangs in the belfry of the San Roque Church. 1880, the church was closed due to heavy earthquake damage. Only the dome and presbytery were spared from crack. 1882, October, cholera epidemic spread in Cavite and many residents died. Even the politico-military governor Don Juan Salcedo was afflicted. An old lady appeared to him and requested that the fiesta of the Virgin de la Soledad be celebrated with the greatest pomp possible. If the request is granted, the epidemic will subside. After the governor agreed, he got well and the cholera epidemic was checked. 1883-1886 height of Cavite Fiesta. The whole province participated in the affair. Streets covered by the route of the procession were carpeted and canopied and lighted with crystal lanterns. 1892, the Fiesta of Cavite was featured in the Spanish newspaper, Manilia. The governor of Cavite Don Juan Francisco Rodriguez opened the Exposition Regional de Cavite. The hymn Reina de Cavite was composed by Don Julian Felipe, the national anthem composer.